Continuing our reading from page 23. Not long after I was released from the burden of study, it was time to begin the preparations for Losal, or Tibetan New Year, which was the highlight of our community's year. This holiday typically falls in February or early March in the Western calendar and can last for more than 2 weeks. I loved it and looked forward to it for months. All normal routines were relaxed. The grown-ups were always in an excellent mood. And we got to wear our fanciest clothes, use our nicest things, and eat the best food of the entire year. I had a little Mongolian hat decorated with a coral-colored stone that I was extremely proud of, and a silver food bowl that I was only allowed to use at New Year. Before the festivities began, we would clean our house thoroughly and bring in fragrant woods for burning as smoke offerings. My mother, auntie, and sisters would have been preparing food for days in advance. The custom was to eat fried dumplings made from wheat flour mixed with dried cheese and yak butter and shaped into squares. I loved them more than any food in the whole world. They were served with meat from a yak's head, which was also a delicacy eaten only at Losal. Those yak's head were kept aside throughout the winter until it was time to prepare them. The hair was burned off down at the river bank, the heads then brought back to the house, and the meat chopped up small and cooked for the Losal festivities. We had lots of napse, twisted dough biscuits that were deep fried. And for the grown-ups there was jang, barley beer, which was brewed only at New Year. As Buddhists, consumption of alcohol was not done regularly. At New Year it was drank, but rarely at other times. On New Year's Day, my whole family would rise early and get dressed in our finest clothes. We then prepared the house by putting out all of the softest cushions and the delicate woven rugs we kept for special occasions and for receiving guests. Once everything was ready, we sat down to celebrate. For the first 2 days, our immediate family feasted together. Then, the other families in the village would arrive, one by one, to celebrate with us. Each day brought a different family, and the celebration went on long into the night. The adults got a little tipsy, and there was music playing on flutes, mouth harps, and a guitar, with everyone dancing in our big living room. When the party was finished, each person was given 1 square dumpling and a portion of the rich yak meat to take home with them. Meanwhile, every other family in the village was doing the same. It was a whirl of socializing as each family went visiting. When I look back at it now, it must have been quite a feat to schedule all those visits so that there were no empty houses, or others where 4 families were pinched up together. No wonder it took us weeks to get round everyone. The festivities closed with a religious ceremony in which the whole village took part. We put up a huge ba, or yakskin tent, and invited our local Lama, all the local Sangha, monks and nuns from the nearby villages, and any other learned person who was able to read fast. They all came to take part in reading the Kanjur, the sacred text containing the Buddhist teachings, considered very precious and holy, for the benefit of us villagers. In return, every family chipped in to provide them with the very best food we could offer. When the reading was complete and we had eaten the closing meal, we felt ready to start the new year. This was the rhythm of existence throughout my childhood. Our community farmed and harvested, rested and feasted. I felt that I was a living part of the fabric of an interconnected world, and I was happy. I credit this with creating an inner core of stability and faith that has never left me. Even in my most challenging or confusing moments. It seems to me that human beings thrive when we feel part of a bigger whole. The moment we realize we are part of the air we breathe and the earth we stand on is a breakthrough that creates a spontaneous wave of compassion and respect for all living beings and the natural world that sustains us. Nothing and nobody stands alone. This wave of loving kindness towards all beings rebounds and envelops us too, and brings about a sense of deep gratitude. Human life is particularly precious to us Buddhists, simply because human beings are capable of grasping these truths, which gives us a unique opportunity to learn something about the nature of reality and of the endless cycles of birth, death, and rebirth we call samsara. This in turn lays the foundation for escaping from suffering's hold over us and taking tentative steps in the direction of liberation. One important part of this process is to learn to appreciate the present moment for all its possibilities. Drink deeply from the cup when times are good, and use those moments to foster habits of awareness and positivity, because easy times cannot last forever. Continuing from page 23 of Lama Yeshe Losal Rinpoche's book, From a Mountain in Tibet. What would you like to say?
It looks like the New Year festival has more time for feasting rather than having fun and playing around. More interested in feasting.
Yes.
Lots of good things to eat and meeting lots of people coming. Probably some people I haven't seen for a long time, which was very good for them to come and meet. It's good how everybody can come together at a time like that, you know. Usually they're parted for a long time, working away somewhere or doing something, and then at that time of the year they all come together. I think that's quite good for that to happen, you know. And that's what's so special about the New Year. It brings everybody together. Yes.
It ensures the community is unified.
That's right. Everybody was happy and enjoying themselves. Yes.
You get a sense of the special tastes they had?
Oh, yes. They'll be telling each other stories and things like that, and enjoying each other's company, and wire into the lovely food that's been put on for them, you know. Sure, Lama Yeshe would have readied all the food samples.
He had his mother and his two sisters cooking away to be
That's right.
prepared to have all those families come.
That's right.
Over the course of 2 weeks, that would have been a lot of preparation.
Yeah, it was a lot of work for the women to do.
Yes.
All that preparation. The mother and the sisters, they were really really kept busy to keep everybody happy, you know. Seeing that they got enough to eat, and topping up when the plates got empty, they keep topping things up, I suppose. It's like that, you know.
And making sure the monks and the nuns had very, very special food and
right.
felt they were very much appreciated.
Yes. I'm sure there's a lot of other things going on as well, you know. I'm sure they would invite I don't know if they had any Lama dancing at that time.
I don't know.
Because our other types of dancing, they may have. They did have dancing, but I don't know if they had the Lama type dancing.
We'll have to ask Lama Yeshe. Did you have Lama dancing at Losal? That's one of our questions.
Yeah. Yes. And so I suppose the lamas and the monks had a time talking to people, and they were reciting the prayers and things like that, you know, and the kanju and the tanjur text. That seems to be a tradition, doing the kanju and tanjur text. I don't know how many times a year they do it, or maybe it's once a year, I don't know. But maybe Lama Yeshe can tell us.
Yes.
Can't you, Lama Yeshe?
So we're curious to know more about how special this very special time was.
Yes.
And well understand why it was looked forward to for months in advance.
Yes. And I don't know how you, and although it lasted for 2 weeks, I don't know how it lasted for months.
The anticipation.
Yes. It was dragged out, I suppose. It dragged out for months.
And in terms of all the events of a year, this special celebration and ceremonial time was like no other.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure they had do special prayers and things like that too, you know. I'm sure that would happen.
They got dressed in their best.
Oh, aye, yes. Their best fancy gear, which is good. So they'll probably, after the new year, they'll pack everything away for the next new year.
That's right.
Probably the good gear comes out once a year, maybe, not unless they've got any other special occasions that comes in that year they can bring them out for.
Yes.
You know.
And Lama Yeshe Rinpoche said that these experiences were very important for him as a child, but also throughout his life.
Yes.
He has been able to remember these special losars and what that gave him as an individual in his family, but also as a member of an interdependent community.
That's right. That's why it's so well remembered, you know. Yes. So, as I say, we saw that busy piece, and then what we get up to his tricks or anything like that, or playing with his mates and getting up to tricks, they're more interested in food. So we made it a joyous time. It's good to have a joyous time, you know.
Yes. As he said, he was happy.
Yeah.
And he has brought that happiness with him and into everything that has come since.
That's right.
He's carried it along. It's been his support.
Yes, right. Very good.
And his foundation.
Yes.
From childhood onwards.
Yes. So I had a very good childhood.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, I had a very good childhood experience. Yeah. So that was mostly about New Year festivity. Nothing else seems to be coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.